Hello and good evening and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. To present, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Top stories in the news tonight. Police deny HH access to hold a road show in CHINGOLA as they use tear gas to stop him. Government happy with agricultural diversification efforts. And political party seeks judicial review on what it terms plans to rig elections. In international news, DR Congo vote on Electoral Commission reform for political stability. And in sports news, Senegal defeat CHIPOLOPOLO in international friendly.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Hello once again, the news in detail. CNN reports that a prominent Nigerian televangelist has died hours after presiding over a program at his Lagos-based megachurch on Saturday. Prophet T.B. Joshua, the founder of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, passed away 1 week before his 58th birthday, his church said in a statement on Sunday. T.B. Joshua Ministries wrote on a Facebook page post that God has taken his servant prophet T.B. Joshua home as it should be by divine will. His last moments on earth were spent in the service of God. This is what he was born for, lived for, and died for. Joshua's cause of death was not stated. Since his rise to prominence in the late 1990s, the popular preacher was renowned for his philanthropy, prosperity teachings, and purported healings and miracles.
Nigeria's prophet T.B. Joshua passed away Saturday, only a few days from his 58th birthday, as per an official statement issued Sunday morning by the Synagogue Church of All Nations, founded by Temitokwe Balogun Joshua himself, or the man of God as his millions of followers referred to their beloved spiritual leader of miracles and resurrections, who was also one of the richest pastors in the world, with a Forbes estimated several million US dollar fortune. There was no indication that the Christian preacher, who had spoken just the day before at the Emmanuel TV Partners meeting, was ill, and no exact cause of death has been established. The prophet had his share of critics who dismissed him as a charlatan, fraudster, and recently a homophobe, as just in April, YouTube shut down the church's channel for homophobic hate speech. Nevertheless, there are many who believed in Prophet T.B. Joshua and view his passing as a huge loss to the Christian community.
United Party for National Development Alliance partners have described the shooting of a vehicle carrying Hakainde Hichilema on the Copper Belt as an assassination attempt that should be condemned. UPND Alliance spokesperson Charles Milopi says President Edgar Lungu should take interest in this matter, adding that if anything happens to the opposition leader, he will have himself to blame. Mr. Milopi notes that this is because the operations of the police at the moment are taken as a direct order from him. Meanwhile, UPND running mate Mutale Manalumango says the people of Zambia have decided and no intimidation will change their minds. We have more in this report.
In the early hours of Sunday, the United Party for National Development media team reported that its leader, Hakainde Hichilema, survived an alleged police shooting in CHINGOLA on his way to a local church. The incident has been described as barbaric by the UPND Alliance spokesperson Charles Milopi. And UPND running mate Mutalena Lumango says no maneuvers by other political opponents will sway the vote for change.
Doesn't matter how many tricks they want to play, and we are aware, Chair, that they are doing everything possible to try and either stop the elections or rig. Zambians will guard their vote. Each Zambian will guard their own vote. And I would just like to say, Chair, that we refuse to allow President Edgar Lungu to do a coup on our constitution, Mr. President. There is totally no reason for what is going on. We therefore condemn in no uncertain terms the behavior, not the actual act today that has happened, that has brought us here now, but generally for this president to choose to stand against the provisions of the Constitution, which is sworn to protect. This is campaign period, Chairman. And all of us are supposed to be campaigning freely and campaigning responsibly. But
the MDC president Felix Mutati also said Zambians should strive to maintain peace at all cost.
It's pride. But on the real side, it's a darkest day in the democratic process of our dear country called Zambia. It's a day that should never happen. A day when democracy is being fragmented, distracted by desperate actions, unacceptable actions. We were scheduled to have a regular press conference this morning, but that has been overtaken by the real events that have taken place in CHINGOLA this morning.
Meanwhile, Copperbelt Police Commissioner Chushi could not comment on this matter, but assured this reporter of calling back through a text. Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, Senior Chief Mukuni of the Tokalea people of Kazungula, Livingston and Pemba says he will personally hold President Edgar Lungu responsible for any harm on Mr. Hichilema. This is in response to the incident which happened in Chingola, where Hakainde Hichilema's motorcade was ambushed by police and shot at. The traditional leader notes that shooting at an opposition leader who commands so much national attention 3 months before an election cannot be a decision of an Inspector General of Police, but that of the Commander-in-Chief himself. He has advised the head of state not to risk national unity and peace for his own political reasons.
I will personally hold President Edgar Lungu responsible for any harm on Hakainde Hichilema. This morning's incident in Chingola, where Hakainde Hichilema's motorcade was ambushed by police and shot at, is a very dangerous event that could quickly escalate into something that would be difficult to control unless Mr. Edgar Lungu takes national security as his priority. Cabinet has been dissolved and the chain of command in which instructions are issued has been drastically reduced. Shooting at an opposition leader who commands so much national attention 3 months before an election cannot be a decision of the Inspector General of Police, but that of the Commander-in-Chief himself.
But Inspector General of Police Kakoma Kanganja is displeased with the conduct of the UPND on the Copperbelt, calling on the police officers to continue being firm and ensure that law and order is maintained. In a statement, the Inspector General of Police has further warned political parties taking part in the election that the police will not allow them to orchestrate ill intentions aimed at disturbing public order. Meanwhile, the police chief has further dispelled statements circulating on social media that the police attempted to shoot at the UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema whilst on the Copper Belt. He has since advised all politicians to stand on the truth, as the general public expects to hear the truth from them. Political activist Dante Saunders has charged that the PF government is not being sincere in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. He says the PF has contributed greatly to raising numbers of the COVID-19 cases and must not use the pandemic to disadvantage the opposition. He notes with concern that the PF disregarded advice on the need to stay away from premature campaigns which attracted masses. Mr. Saunders notes that when it is the right time to campaign, they want to stop the opposition from mobilizing support using the COVID-19 pandemic, which he said they greatly contributed to.
In the past, all those rallies that they have been having in the past, they are the ones who have been spreading the COVID thing. If they were genuine and sincere, that they definitely wanted to put an end to this COVID issue, why, for instance, I ask, why can't you buy the entire nation one mask each, which cost about 4 kwacha or 5 kwacha? Why can't you give the entire nation of 14 million people a mask each? Considering the fact that there's so much abuse of people's money. If you look at the Ministry of Health, how many billions of kwacha, if you convert to the US dollars, how many billions of kwacha have been wasted and utterly stolen, or simply just misused and abused? If you took that particular kind of money out of the system and you bought people just a mask, we would be saving the lives of many, many people in this country. That is what you call genuine interest in the people. You are not interested. You went around as PF, you went around having huge rallies, despite the fact you refused, together with your police, to give opposition a license to be able to meet the people and give them the manifestos. You've been refusing. We knew all along. I am on record as having said that this COVID thing will come back to haunt us, because PF will be using that same issue to say the COVID is too huge in this country. So no more rallies. This is what is happening today.
The opposition movement for Change and Equity Party is seeking judicial review on some statutes that are allegedly being used to rig the elections. Party President Kaluba Simuyemba has revealed that it is aware of what he termed as a rigging scheme in both previous and in this year's election. Speaking during a media briefing alongside UPND Alliance partners in Lusaka on Sunday, Mr. Simuyemba says the party will provide evidence to justify its concerns on Zambia's electoral process.
We are treated to another shocker from the CONGO that our petition cannot be entertained, and therefore ECZ's application is sustained. However, something happened which is very important for you, the media, to actually record and put it to the populace in this country. This is on 12th May, whilst we are active in the CONGO, Nshindano and Chulu, and one of the two, either the Attorney General or the Solicitor General, actually connived to go and push and author what you are calling regulations. This we made aware of the court. And the court, we did not stop at that. We actually cited Nshindano for contempt of court. This matter is active as from Friday. We went to see how these guys and their cohorts are going to react to that. In furtherance to that, we are considering options as from tomorrow as to how we can go ahead and either escalate this argument to be heard by a full bench of the CONGO. Please take interest in what we actually put in the CONGO. It is actually at the center of electoral rigging. There is an inbuilt system that has been put in the statutes from 2006, and we would like to interrogate that in detail with you, cooperating journalists and cooperating partners, so that you see that they are actually no elections, they are fixed elections. And we will stand on that, and we are going to review and expose what has been happening.
You're watching Camnet TV Main News. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news.
At Master Signs, our services range from outdoor, indoor signage such as billboards, banners, 3D light boxes, pylons and neon signs. We are located at plot number 397A, McKinney Road, Lusaka, at Oryx Filling Station. For more details, call us on +260 967 100 090 or +260 966 999 981, or better still, email us at infomastersign@gmail.com. Master Sign, we will make it shine.
President Edgar Chagwa and the Patriotic Front have facilitated the construction of a modern one-stop border post at Wami in partnership with neighboring Malawi. Vote for Edgar Chagwa and the PF that have brought you change.
In this fast-paced era of industrial boom and population growth, there is need to invest in smart ways of managing electricity and water consumption and reducing utility billing costs associated with the postpaid billing system. At Savenda Electronics, we manufacture right here in Zambia different types of high-quality smart electricity and water meters to customer specifications. Savenda Electronics water and electricity meters help you monitor your usage and gives notifications such as low units, tampering, low battery, and many other features. These easy-to-use meters makes it easier to buy units even in these COVID times and top up just from the comfort of your space. Favorable contract terms are available to both electricity and water utilities. For more details, get in touch with us on the following numbers: 0956 580 349 or 0977 498 318. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Camnet TV is here to entertain, educate and inform you. Catch Rise and Thrive at 0730 hours every Saturday. Fresh and new praise and worship comes Monday to Friday at 8 hours. Kids need to be glued to the TV every weekday at 09 hours for their favorite cartoons. Off the pitch with the boys as they talk about sport on Saturdays at 0930 hours.
Remember, we are also here to entertain you with our different varieties of movies every weekday at 10 hours. Join Pastor Victoria and Moses Chuluwa with Healing Word Ministries International Church live sermon every Sunday at 10 hours.
Katamanda brings to you another journey of gospel ministers on Saturdays at 10:30 hours. The verdict comes to your screens at 17:45 hours. Join the Revival Harvest Church every Sunday at 18:30 hours.
Every Monday to Saturday, join us on the news desk at 12 hours as we bring to you the midday news, and at 19:30 hours Central African time every day for the main bulletin.
The ministry with Pastor Moses Chilua comes every Friday at 20:45 hours. On Mondays, it's your favorite national matters at 20:45 hours.
Wednesday and Thursday, Pastor Victoria and Moses Chuluba are on Partnership of Greatness with different spiritual teachings at 20:45 hours.
And Frank on Camnet comes to your screen every Tuesday at 20:45 hours.
Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Government says progress has been made with regards to educating farmers to diversify. In an interview with Camnet TV, Ministry of Agriculture Director, Department of Agriculture, Moses Mwale, explains that the National Agricultural Policy and other national policies press emphasis on diversification, which he says has started being actualized. He notes that government has in this regard created maps to show what kind of crops are favorable in certain areas. Mr. Mwale notes that most crops, such as cashew nuts, fetch at a higher price, hence the good response from the farmers.
at government policy, whether you're looking at the second National Agricultural Policy or the 7th National Development Plan, or indeed Vision 2030, all these documents talk a lot about crop diversification in the agricultural sector. And from the government's point of view, we have tried to actualize this by giving farmers information about the kind of different crops that they can grow in their different agroecologies. So we've even created maps that shows where crops are suitable. For instance, if you look at maize, our staple crop, it is not necessarily appropriate or suitable in certain parts. For instance, the western part of Zambia, there we know that you can do very well in fruits and vegetables, cassava, cashew nuts and rice. We know that people still want their maize, but if you look at the price of cashew nuts on the international markets, it competes very well with copper. Sometimes it's even more than copper. So what we are saying is that people can grow their cashew nuts, make money, grow their cassava or indeed rice, and then they can then buy the maize that they so desire. It's been good, especially because the price of maize, as you know, is usually set by the Food Reserve Agency. But these other crops, you find that the price is very good. Soybeans, right now, the price is good, market is good. If you look at just here in Mount Meru, they process soybeans into cooking oil. And so farmers are very encouraged because there is a ready market.
An agriculturist, Dr. Frank Kayula, says it is possible to undertake a coordinated maize export to neighboring countries. Dr. Kayula notes the need for ministries of agriculture and commerce to put in place measures that would allow small-scale farmers to benefit. He says putting up the right measures would help curtail smuggling. Dr. Kayula is concerned that such initiatives fail because cadres hijack them, a situation he said hinders national progress.
Export, they agree upon what to export, but they only go and pick cadres from the streets because they support the party. They come together and they are able to get these documents that are required very quickly. After all, they are in the party, and they are the ones that are exporting instead of allowing those that are genuinely in there for business, for government to come and get a tax from them, for government also to make money. They are not being allowed. As a result, you see people just trying to smuggle. What we need to do is this. We have a cooperative system in this country. Work with the cooperative department at Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry to ensure that cooperatives that would like to export are the ones that are identified, not the cooperatives that will be made today because they have heard of the export, but the cooperatives of farmers that are already working in this. That maize is agreed to be sold to specific milling companies at a certain price because these milling companies will be allowed to export because they are working with these cooperatives. The farmer will benefit from the increased price. The milling price is going to benefit from the increased price because they will be selling at a better price this mill in Congo. Government is going to benefit. And this benefit is more sustainable than allowing a Kaponya from the street because he has come out and said, I can do these things, and then they collect the maize and go and export, or the mill to go and export. Government may not tax that. It will be difficult because we are dealing with a Kaponya who is also a cadre.
The Civil Society Scaling Up Nutrition Alliance CSO SAN has observed that the recent announcement on the maize floor price by the Food Reserve Agency reflected a continued manifestation of a lack of consideration for other crops. The Food Reserve Agency FRA is purchasing a 50-kilogram bag of white maize at 150 kwacha during the 2021 crop marketing season. The agency will buy a 50-kilogram bag of soybeans at 500 kwacha, while a 40-kilogram bag of paddy rice would be bought at 200 kwacha. CSO SAN Country Director Matthew Zimuhuru is concerned that the Food Reserve Agency continues to place premium on specific crops. He says the trend hinders crop diversification and nutritional promotion.
being placed on only 3 crops: paddy rice, maize and soybeans. So this in itself means that farmers that are in the rural parts of the country where FRA has access to purchase, their crops, these farmers cannot be enticed or encouraged to really look at growing other crops, including cassava, including millet, sorghum, and other crops that would be of nutritional value to the country. So this is something that government has to really look at with agency, because we see on the input side you have the Farmer Input Support Program that also predominantly supports maize production by giving maize seed as well as fertilizers. And then on the market side, you see also FRA coming in to just purchase about 3 crops that does not really speak to the whole effort of diversifying our agriculture, as well as also the crops that smallholder farmers are producing. So that is something that we urge government to really consider. I think in 2016, when we had Honorable Dorasi here, it was really clear that other crops, including groundnuts and sorghum and other crops as well that are of nutritional value to the country, were being also prioritized. But we're seeing that over the years, all of this is being washed away.
The Zambia National Maize Network for Gender and Development is calling on government to ban the importation of second-hand underwear for both men and women, describing them as a health hazard. Organization National Coordinator Nelson Banda notes that second-hand underwear has the potential of transmitting infections such as typhus and sexually transmitted infections such as gonorrhea and syphilis. Mr. Banda also adds that second-hand underwear can also cause infections, including ringworm and yeast infections. He has cited the Lusaka Central Business District, which he says is full of second-hand underwear. The network has therefore called upon the authorities, such as the Lusaka City Council Public Health Department, the Ministries of Health and Commerce, the Zambia Revenue Authority and the Zambia Bureau of Standards to check the importation of discarded underwear into the country to protect Zambians from contracting associated infections. This is Camnet TV Main News. We take another break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbanda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Every day for me means hard work. Going to sell my goods at the local market. To get more customers, I have my secret. Oracle Pure Glycerin. It's soft, smooth, and keeps my skin perfect. And my customers know it. Thank you, Oracle, for my perfect skin.
It's your friends.
I insist.
Your drama.
So you think you can talk about my dad like that? You are in charge.
And intrigue.
Are you out for good or what? What do you want? Dare you say that to me, eh?
Your heroes. It's your moment with your stories. Made at home for your home. 'Cause great stories start on DSTV.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Welcome back. And in international news, in the Democratic Republic of Congo on Friday, a reform of the Electoral Commission was voted on by the National Assembly. The move is an attempt to ensure the transparency of the next 2023 elections and the political stability of the African nation. The text, adopted by 336 of the 337 deputies present out of the 500 total, will now be examined by the Senate and provides for an Electoral Commission of 15 members. Respectively, 5 representatives of civil society from the majority and the opposition, which remains unconvinced, with some politicians alleging a move by President Felix Tshisekedi to legally tailor the Commission for Electoral Fraud. The opposition, Martin Fayulu, denounced on Twitter the forcing initiated by Mr. Tshisekedi for Parliament to unilaterally vote a law of the Senate tailored to prepare electoral fraud in DRC in 2023. The electoral reform has also been denounced by the Lamuka coalition, which includes Mr. Fayulu and other opponents.
In the Democratic Republic of Congo on Friday, a reform of the Electoral Commission was voted on by the National Assembly. The move is an attempt to ensure the transparency of the next 2023 elections and the political stability of the African nation. The text, adopted by 336 of 337 deputies present, will now be examined by the Senate and provides for an Electoral Commission of 15 members, respectively 5 representatives of civil society from the majority and opposition, which remains unconvinced, alleging a move by President Tshisekedi to legally tailor the Commission for Electoral Fraud. The DRC UN representative hopes the law will strengthen the Commission's depoliticization and the transparency of the electoral process.
Burkinabe citizens expressed concern on Saturday about what local analysts are calling the biggest massacre in the country's history. Gunmen killed at least 100 people in Solhan village Friday night in the Sahel's Yaga province. The attackers also set the local market and several homes on fire toward the border of Niger. President Roch Marc Christian Kabore has called the incident barbaric and declared 3 days of national mourning in the country. Reacting to the news, Bernard Odruago, a resident in the capital Ouagadougou, called on the government to take action to stop such attacks from happening again. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but the government suspects jihadists whose violence is increasing despite the presence of over 5,000 French troops in the Sahel.
Burkinabe citizens expressed concern Saturday about what local analysts are calling the biggest massacre in the country's history after gunmen killed at least 100 people in Solhan village Friday night in the Sahel's Yaga province. The attackers also set the local market and several homes on fire. President Roch Marc Christian Kabore has called the incident barbaric. It is true that the president of Burkina Faso has declared 3 days of mourning throughout the country. But we hope he is also preparing something to see what can be done to stop this kind of thing from happening in Burkina Faso. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but the government suspects jihadists, whose violence is increasing despite the presence of over 5,000 French troops in the Sahel. Many locals question Burkina Faso's defense and security systems. This is the first time that there have been so many deaths at the same time in a single operation, and above all, so many civilian deaths. This is why the Burkinabe population is very sad at the moment. And the questions about the ability of the country and the defense and security system to stem the terrorist insurgency are growing. Over 50 people were killed in Burkina Faso in 1 week alone in April, and more than 1 million people have been internally displaced by the violence. As Burkinabe citizens mourn the victims of this most recent attack, many also hope for concrete solutions.
It's now time for sports news. And in sports news, the CHIPOLOPOLO boys Saturday lost 3-1 to the Teranga Lions of Senegal in a match that had two contrasting halves. A Sadio Mane-inspired Senegal overran the CHIPOLOPOLO in the first half, with the Liverpool talisman opening the score on 21 minutes from the spot. The Lions roared again in the 29th minute through a creeping Diatta goal before Ismaila Sarr made it 3-0 in the 44th minute. In the second half, Militon Micho Stojarevic shuffled his side, throwing in Spencer Sautu for Collins Sikombe and Prince Mumba coming in for Paul Katema to reinvigorate the CHIPOLOPOLO setup. The CHIPOLOPOLO got a lifeline in the 53rd minute when Dominic Chanda headed in a pinpoint Prosper Chiluya set piece. With the Lions on the back foot, Micho threw in Tanzana Mayembe, who was debuting for the CHIPOLOPOLO, to replace Benedict Chipeshi. The changes did add some life in the CHIPOLOPOLO attack, but however could not overturn the 3-1 result. Zambia will play Benin on Tuesday in Cotonou in the second of 3 international friendly matches during the FIFA window. The final match will be against Sudan on July 11 in Omdurman. That sporting item brings us to the end of the news, but we'll take a look at the headlines once more. Police deny HH access to hold a roadshow in CHINGOLA as they use tear gas to stop him. Government happy with agricultural diversification efforts. Political party seeks judicial review on what it terms plans to rig elections. And in international news, DR Congo vote on electoral commission reform for political stability. In sports news, Senegal defeat CHIPOLOPOLO in international friendly. The Camnet World Verse of the Day is coming from the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 8, and it reads, "And God is able to make every grace overflow to you, so that in every way, always having everything you need, you may excel in every good work." That's all we had in our news. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo, and you're watching Camnet, not just another channel. Bye-bye.